Hi everybody, it's Jerry Cates and welcome to Weekend Wisdom. Tonight I want to talk about the law of attraction. So I wanted to point out that according to a 2015 study, half of the world's wealth was in the, it says half of the world's wealth is now in the hands of 1% of the population. So does that 1% know something the rest of us don't know? Clearly they know something the rest of us might not be aware of. And I'm wondering if part of it is the law of attraction. I think it's a huge part. So think about gravity. When you hold something out and you let go, it falls. That's gravity. And gravity is always working. Here on Earth, gravity is always working. And the law of attraction is always working just like gravity. So the law of attraction, what it isn't, is a potion or spell or enchantment or something that's just going to wipe all your problems away. There's more to it than that. So there are things you need to do if you want to experience abundance, more love, wealth in your life, and wishing is not enough. So people explain the law of attraction in many ways. And one of them is, if you strongly believe that something should happen, it'll certainly happen. It's not enough. Also affirmations, people use affirmations and vision boards. It's not enough. So there's more to it than that. Hi, hey Lee and Alex, Jennifer, Patricia, Angel. I'm glad you guys joined me. Thank you. Okay, so I'm going to talk a little bit more about the law of attraction, and we're going to break it down into 4 elements. The first one is knowing what you want. You know, so many live in a vow of poverty, that it's not okay to have what you want. You know, and then there's those feelings of I'm not enough. And it is amazing how many times I run into people who are really afraid to even say what they want. So number 1 is knowing what you want. And begin with a thought process for it, and begin repeating what you want. So not only do you have to know what it is you want, you have to repeat it to the universe out loud and with conviction. And then we need to visualize what we want, the situation that as if we were already in it. The situation that we're yearning for as if it's already happening. And this reminds me of I took a feminine power course a few years ago, and the instructor said, if you want love in your life, show up as the woman you want to be in that relationship. And I thought, what a concept. So I did. I started showing up as if I already had someone that was amazing in my life. And 30 days later, my husband came into my life. So that was pretty powerful. And then at the same time, we need not to attach ourselves to what might happen. Okay, so you got to be open. We must think about having it, but not have any apprehension. So I think I look at this one as being open. You know, say I'm interested in a guy, I want that guy, versus I want a man who has these qualities. Okay, or I want a job with these qualities rather than just that job, because the universe might have something greater in store for you. But be in that moment, and you don't want to have any apprehension about it. So really just immerse yourself in it. And then take action. My coach said to me, the difference between desire and knowing something and experiencing it is action. And that's what I'm doing here. I want to make a difference. I want to get my message out. So I'm stepping up and taking action and doing these videos. So anyway, take action. So, okay. So one of the main steps of understanding the law of attraction is to understand the word or thought and what it really means. Throughout the description of the law, you'll find that it doesn't refer to thinking the way we do. Okay. So now I'm going to give you a concept that you're going to have to just kind of take in and look at it and you know, sit back and look at it from a different angle. So when you're in a particular situation and you have people around and things around, whatever you see becomes real for you because of it's part of your thought. However, this isn't the kind of process the law of attraction is talking about. This is known as objective thinking. And one of the examples that I found was, let's see, sorry, I got myself out of, okay, so in order to implement the law of attraction in our lives, we need to shun the concept of objective thinking, okay? We have to accept a higher level. So one of the concepts is, let me think here, my spouse is real. How did I do that? I got my notes out of whack here, bear with me. Why do you, okay, when you see your spouse, why do you think your spouse is real? Because we can see them, but this is objective thinking. So subjective thinking would be the other way around. If we think our spouse is real, therefore we see them, right? We believe in it first, and that's subjective thinking. When you dream, you use pictures. And in our dreams, the self, is that the real us? We're the ones who are seeing the dream, and we're just the frame of reference, the consciousness. Whatever's happening in the dream is our perspective. This is how thinking works in the subjective world. In this world, we see it actually just a manifestation of our thoughts. So it doesn't mean that they aren't real. What this means is that those things are present in our consciousness. And just as we might be able to do things in our dreams, we can do them in the law of attraction. We could alter these things into our real life as well. And so way too often, our situations rule our life. How many times in your life have you said something like, this is out of my control, I don't have enough money, I can't do anything about it? Those are ruling our life. That's a lower vibration. We're selling out to ourselves. We're giving something else the power over ourselves. So we got to think in the way that the law of attraction thinks. I mean, the law of attraction is listening and showing up all the time. So if I'm thinking low thoughts, or if I'm coming from a lower vibration, and even saying things like, I got caught the other day, I made a sarcastic comment and I got called on it by my coach, because he was right. I was saying something and it was out of resentment. So then that's what I was projecting out. That's the vibration I was projecting out. So be careful what you say. You know, think about what you're going to say before you say it, and then ask yourself, is this creating what I want? So let's see. So really it boils down to the circumstances are in our hands. And it's up to us to create situations that are conducive to our own development and not the other way around. So in order to create them, the law of attraction demands that of you, it's really important that you create it from the right reference. So your perceived reality is actually the things that are happening in your frame of reference, otherwise known as the conscious. But you need to put the finger on the consciousness, the conscience. I'll get it. So you know when you want to do something and you have that like, oh, the why, the burning desire, the intention, that's a pivot point, right? And then there are those who are really good at that, having that pivot point and really following through. Well, a lot of times we have those things in the way, those old patterns, and I mentioned them last week, paradigms. They're old patterns and conditioning. So when you were a baby, you didn't have a critical part and you just took it all in, everything from the environment, you know, and then there's the genetic thing, but really I'm talking about environment. You just took it all in, and then we buy it. We believe that's our reality. And it's really the reality of the input we got. It's from the other people that are caregivers. So we go through life on that premise or in that paradigm. And a lot of times that paradigm says, I'm not enough, I can't do that. It holds us back. So it takes reprogramming the subconscious or the conscious mind. And I mentioned these a little bit last week. It's about programming the conscious mind, and it takes active participation, just like the 4 steps So part of it is identifying the patterns. You know, what do you have? Do you have doubt? Do you have fear? Anxiety? Do you have feelings that you're not enough? And turning that around and reprogramming, you know, what you tell yourself. And then releasing or purging some of those old patterns, those old beliefs. And then being about gratitude. So the important thing, let's see how we're doing here, about the law of attraction. Any questions? I know I've only touched on it, but just remember that it's the vibration from which you're operating from. And it's what you say, you think, you feel. It takes active participation. It's like building a new muscle. It's not an easy thing to change these old paradigms, these old patterns, but it can be done with repetition, just like saying what you want with repetition. Anyway, so I'm offering some free breakthrough calls, and I'll give you some tools. So I think the link is there, yes. Go ahead and book a breakthrough session with me. And if you have any questions right now? Any questions about what I've said? This is me taking action. So I'm modeling the behavior for you. What do you want? Do you want love in your life? Do you want a better job? What's holding you back? What do you know what's holding you back? These are the questions to ask yourself. What do I want? What's holding me back? So anyway, I'm going to sign off here pretty quick. So click my the link and book a free breakthrough session. Okay, thanks. I'll be back next week with Weekend Wisdom. And if you have a topic you want to talk about, otherwise I got a whole bunch of them. Let's see, Barbie. How do we start saying good things to ourselves? First, I'll say, Barbie, make a breakthrough session appointment with me, and I will give you tailored things to say to yourself that will help counter the things that you're telling yourself. Okay? But your mind listens to your mouth. And I don't think we realize the things we say, how damaging they are. I mean, the little things like, well, our parents might say, oh, you got to work hard for your money. You got to work hard for a living. You need to have a job. You know, well, maybe you are an entrepreneur and you could make a difference in the world in another way. You know, we get told things or conditioned with things or that you're not enough. You know, I know that an abusive parent or a parent that has a poor self-esteem is going to project that onto the children and say things that stick with you. You know, and then when you start to do really well and you're on track, and then something knocks you down, and it's because that foundation has still got those old paradigms in there. You know, and so we got some valuable tools on purging yourself of those. It's an ongoing process. It's an ongoing process. Anyway, thank you so much for joining me. Share if you can. I'd really appreciate it if you're inspired. Thanks. Bye.